What? Oh man, out the gate. What's good? What's good? What's good, baby? It is your boy True X, the sports junkie, and welcome to MBS Central's Stardom Situm Show. This is our fantasy football show. I'm going to help you right there, with all your fantasy needs for this upcoming week and for the remainder of the year. Um, oh man, my throat is a little itchy. We have a lot of exciting games for you guys today. Y'all, we already know that. My man, Keo, where you at, man? Where you at, man? Stop ducking me, man. Stop ducking me. But nonetheless, I'm gonna hold it down today. I'm gonna help you out with your starting lineups. We're gonna go straight into it. Let's start with the bye weeks, man. If anybody has a Colts player, Vikings player, Dolphins player, or Ravens player, get them out your lineup. They are not playing today. That's right. The last year's MVP of fantasy football, Lamar Jackson, is out. We're gonna hopefully get you somebody in there that can help you win a game today with him not being in your starting lineup. So get those Ravens, Dolphins, Vikings, Colts out your lineup. All of those guys are on a bye week. But we got some good names for you today as far as who to plug in and play. Let's go straight to the quarterback position. Y'all already know we named 5 guys, guys that are not in the elite class. Elite class is something like Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. We put Deshaun Watson that he's an automatic start week in and week out, despite the Texans not playing very well right now. But go with guys that you know you should start week in and week out. But let's go to number 5. I'm going with Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan, he showed that old Matt Ryan last week. He showed that old Matt Ryan, him and Julio Jones. I think today him versus the Lions could be a really good showing for Matt Ryan once again. Maybe the Falcons start to get on a roll. Maybe they start to, become the team that a lot of people thought they were going to be this upcoming season. But we'll see today. But I got Matt Ryan coming at number 5. Coming at number 4, I got the same game, but the other side, the quarterback on the other side. I got Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, if Swift could run the ball the way he did last week, I think that's going to open up a lot of stuff for Matthew Stafford. We know he has some good wide receivers in Galladay and Marvin Jones. And I like Hockenson as well. But I just think going up against that Falcons defense, he could have a big game today. So he comes in at number 4. Now, 3 through 1 may surprise a few of you. I got Justin Herbert at number 3, the rookie sensation. This dude has been nothing short of spectacular, despite not having a win on his resume. But he's balling. He is balling. He's putting up good numbers. You want to get him in your life. I believe, if I'm correct, he's played in 4 games and he's had 30 in 3 of the 4 games and 20, I think 24 in one of them. So Justin Herbert's somebody that you definitely want to play. I'm actually starting him in one of my leagues. I want to try him out and see what happens. He's going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, by the way. Coming at number 2, nobody agrees with me on this one, but that's okay. That's why we all have our own opinions. I got Jimmy Garoppolo returning to New England to take on the Patriots. Yes, I know the Patriots have a good defense. Yes, I know that's his former team. Yes, I know Bill Belichick's the other coach. But I think Jimmy G is going to take that personal. I think he's going to take it personal. He's going to have a good game today. He got his weapons, all his weaponry as far as wide receivers is concerned. He got Deebo Samuel now. He got George Kittle. He's been having them, but now they're really healthy. You saw last week, Deebo got the conversion on not fourth down, got the conversion on 3rd down to close out the game versus the Rams. I just think the 49ers are back now, even though Mostert is out. I think Jimmy G has a really good game today. But my number 1 quarterback, this was so easy. If you've been tuning into the show, I want to say it right now. This is a start of the week alert. I got Josh Allen. Come on, man. Josh Allen going up against the New York Jets. The Jets are awful. And then the Bills are on a 2-game losing streak. They're on a 2-game losing streak. They're gonna be pissed off. They're gonna try to show the world that they're not a fraudulent team. They're not a team that they're not a team that people are saying are pretenders. I think the Bills win big today. We saw the Dolphins win 24-0 last week. I believe that the Bills could win by more than 24 points today. I'm going Josh Allen. I'm going the Buffalo Bills in a blowout today. But I think Josh Allen has a monster game. Let's move on to running backs. We already know the elite guys, the Alvin Kamaras, the Zeke Elliott's. I want to include somebody that we didn't include for a long time. Last week, me and Mike spoke about it. I'm putting Aaron Jones in the elite class. He belonged there. Aaron Jones, you start week in and week out. So we're going to put him up there. But let's go to number 5 for me. I got Mike Davis. This dude, he comes in for Christian McCaffrey, and he hasn't dropped the ball. He hasn't been a huge drop-off. This dude has been balling. So I'm going Mike Davis at number 5, going up against, unfortunately, my New Orleans Saints. So hopefully he doesn't have the biggest game of the day, and he's at the start of the week. But I am going Mike Davis at number 5. At number 4 and 3, I'm going to the same game. I got Josh Jacobs and Ronald Jones. I think that both teams want to establish the running game today. I think both teams want to, impose their will, so to speak. So I'm going with Josh Jacobs and Ronald Jones. I don't know who's going to have the better game, but Ronald Jones has been really hot lately. So it could be Ronald Jones. It could be Josh Jacobs, but I know both of those guys should be in your starting lineup. I like those two guys a lot today, and those guys could have been higher on my list, to be honest with you. At number 2, this is a little bit of a surprise, I think, for some people. I'm going James Conner. We already know King Henry's a part of the elite club. I think James Conner is taking this kind of personal. I think he's like, King Henry gets all the love, all the credit in football and fantasy football. People love him, and they're forgetting about me. I'm a good running back. I'm the running back that, the Steelers kept because they got rid of Le'Veon Bell because I was here. So I think James Conner could have a big game today, especially if Mike Larson is right. He has a Larson lock on this game that the Steelers win. If they're going to win, they're going to have to run the ball and control the time of possession, because if they don't, it can get bad when you play against the Tennessee Titans. But number 1, another guy, a part of Stud of the Week alert, I'm going with Kareem Hunt. I know he didn't have the greatest game last week, but it was against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. We already know how good they are. They're among the elites when we talk about defenses. But going up against the Cincinnati Bengals, I got to give them credit. They have been playing extremely hard this season, but I'm not going against Kareem Hunt. The Browns are coming off a loss. You still got to be concerned about Odell Beckham. You still got to be concerned about Jarvis Landry. I think Kareem Hunt finally has the game that we've been thinking he's going to have, being the starting running back and basically getting most of the touches from that backfield with no Nick Chubb. So I got Kareem Hunt coming in at number 1, and he is on my Stud of the Week alert for this week. Let's move over to wide receivers. Finally, we got Julio Jones to be, the Julio Jones that we expected. So, that's one of the elite guys. You got your DeAndre Hopkins. He's up there. Devontae Adams. We're not talking about those guys. Those guys are starts every week. Let's go to number 5. I'm going with Mike Williams. I'm going Mike Williams. I believe Justin Herbert likes this guy. Mike Williams made an incredible catch last week that I thought could have possibly won the Chargers the game versus the Saints. Well, 2 weeks ago versus the Saints. And I think that they're starting to get some chemistry going. So I'm going with Mike Williams at number 5, going up against Jacksonville. Coming at number 4, I know everybody loves Robbie Anderson. I'm going DJ Moore versus the New Orleans Saints. It's time for DJ Moore to break out a little bit, possibly do some things. He's been good. He scored his first touchdown versus, I think, the Falcons. And he hasn't been the receiver that a lot of people thought he was going to be. I think a lot of people thought he was going to score more touchdowns this season. But nonetheless, I do think he gets in the end zone today, so I'm going DJ Moore at number 4. At number 3, I'm going Kenny Golladay versus the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think the Falcons have an answer for him. This guy could finish as the number one wide receiver of the day. So Golladay is definitely in my top 5. Coming at number 2, this guy is truly making a case for being an elite guy. Me and Q have spoke about it. Me and the MBS brand have spoke about it. And I'm talking about DK Metcalf. Yes, I know he's going against the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, I know that they got Patrick Peterson. But man, DK Metcalf, that's a grown man. You got to deal with him. He's like the new version of a mini version of Calvin Johnson. This dude is a monster. So I'm going DK Metcalf at number 2. And the only reason why DK Metcalf wasn't number 1, because really I can make a case every week that he's number 1, is because the guy that's at number 1 is playing against the New York Jets. The New York Jets, that's right. I'm going with Stephon Diggs. I hope I'm wrong because I'm going up against a guy in the MBS league, my boy Just Justin from the Nothing But Sports Show. Make sure y'all check that out every Tuesday or Thursday. I think they alternate. Tuesdays and Thursdays, they alternate the Nothing But Sports Show, where you can check him out on the Nothing But Sports Show. But Stephon Diggs is my number 1 guy. Another stud of the week alert. You got to get Stephon Diggs in your lineup. He's going up against the Jets. The only concern about that is they could be blowing them out by running the football. And if they're winning big, they may just chill out and not throw the ball so much. So that's the only concern. But Stephon Diggs, I think, is going to have a monster game today. Let's move over. And this is the one I was excited about before the show. For anybody out there, that tight end position. And why am I excited, you may say? Because my number 5 and 4 guys bring me back just a few years ago, but seems like long ago. And coming at number 5, I got Jimmy Graham. What? Jimmy Graham has been playing some good football for the Chicago Bears. Nick Foles comes in, and it's like he loves Jimmy Graham. He loves to target him. We know he loves AR-12. We already know that. But he has been getting the ball to Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham has been balling. So I'm going with Jimmy Graham. You want to go ahead and start him today. So I'm going with Graham versus who the Bears are playing. I'm tripping right now. Oh, the Bears are playing against the Rams. Yeah, and I think they're going to try to stop Allen Robinson. So I'm going with Jimmy Graham at number 5. Coming in number 4, I got Rob Gronkowski. Gronk. That's right. Gronk, man. We rewinding time right now, guys. We are rewinding time right now. Graham and Gronk, we had that argument a few years back. Who was the best tight end? I mean, I personally think it's Gronk, hands down. I think Gronk is the greatest tight end of all time. I've seen a lot of them too. I've seen Shannon Sharp. I've seen Tony Gonzalez. So for anybody out there that may be upset with me, I just think Rob Gronkowski, man, is just a difference maker. So I'm going with Rob Gronkowski today. I think he's going to have a big, big game. And we're going to talk more about Gronk later on in the show. Coming in number 3, I got Jared the Crook Cook. Shout out to my main man, Duke, Hub City Records. What up? I just think no Michael Thomas, no Emmanuel Sanders today. I think Jared Cook is a guy that you want to get in the lineup because Drew Brees will have confidence in getting him the ball today. So definitely you want to get Jared Cook in your lineup at number 3, going up against the Carolina Panthers. At number 2, another Charger going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I got Hunter Henry. He's a guy that low-key people are sleeping on at the tight end position. He's been really good this season. Double-digit points, I think, in all but one game this season, I think. Don't quote me on that, but he has had a good season. So I'm going Hunter Henry at number 2. I think he can find the end zone possibly in this game versus Jacksonville. But number 1, Jonnu Smith versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, I know the Steelers defense is elite. I already said that. But I do believe they have to worry about stopping King Henry. That's their number 1 concern. So on the goal line, who can squeeze out of there and possibly get open real quick? Mr. Smith. So I'm going Jonnu Smith at the number 1 position at tight end. No stud of the week alert. at the tight end position, but I do think he could have a good game today. So he is my number one tight end. Right now, you are now rocking with the Nothing But Sports Central YouTube page. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell. I am Truex, the Sports Junkie. This is the Stardom Sit 'em Fantasy Football Show, where we help you with your fantasy football needs. So, moving on, we got to go to kicker. And man, kicker is crazy. But I'm going to start with number 5. Yes, kickers can win you your fantasy matchup if they have a monster game. Number 5, I'm going Tyler Bass. The only reason why I don't have Tyler Bass a little higher is because I think they're going to score a lot of touchdowns instead of field goals. So I'm going Tyler Bass, going up against the New York Jets. Buffalo, I tell you, a big blowout today. So I just think he's gonna get you some points, nonetheless. Number 4, I got John Carlson versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like this kid a lot. I actually picked him up last week, saved him for this week. He's not on, he don't have his bye no more. So I have him pretty much for the remainder of the year. I like what the Raiders are doing. So John Carlson to me is a guy that you definitely can pick up and start the remainder of the year. So I like him this week against Tampa Bay. Coming in at number 3 is another guy that low-key has been playing some really good football and, man, kicking that ball at a high successful rate. I'm talking about Randy Bullock of the Cincinnati Bengals. If the Bengals have a shot, I think this game could be closer than what a lot of people think. They could possibly put an upset. I think Randy Bullock has a big leg, and he possibly could hit a late 50-yarder to knock off the Browns. Don't be surprised by that. So I'm going Randy Bullock at number 3. At number 2, I'm going Jason Myers. This game is going to be interesting versus the Cardinals. Jason Myers, he hasn't been the greatest fantasy kicker up until this point. They score a lot of touchdowns, but I think today the Cardinals may hold him from getting into the end zone, and we could get a Jason Myers big day today. But coming in at number 1, I think this guy, I want to nominate this guy to the MBS brand, to my main man, Keo. I'm going with my guy from Atlanta, Mr. Koo. Mr. Koo has been balling. He's my number 1 guy going up against Detroit today. We got to get that guy on the elite level, Keo, and Nothing But Sports. Let's make that happen. So that is my top 5 kickers for today. Coming in at number 5 on the defenses, we're going to go through this pretty simply. I don't know why my throat keeps itching. Coming in number 5, I got the Cleveland Browns. Yes, I'm going to start the Browns versus the Bengals. Yes, I know the Bengals could win this game. I just said they could win this game off of Randy Bullock 50-yarder. But Joe Burrow's still a rookie. Why would I not go with the Browns today? The Browns do have Myles Garrett. He can get after the quarterback. So I think the Browns could have a big game today, even though I think it could be a close game, but it'll be a low scoring game, I believe. So I'm going with the Browns at 5. Coming in number 4, I got the Rams. The Rams at number 4. I think the Rams are going to beat the Bears. A lot of people don't agree with that, but I do think the Rams are going to beat the Bears tomorrow night. Aaron Donald and company is going to slow down that David Montgomery and company. They're going to be forced to throw the ball. Allen Robinson is going to throw Jalen Ramsey, so we'll get Jalen Ramsey tomorrow. So I think that's going to be, a little too much for the Bears to overcome. So I'm going with the Rams. I think they can pick 6 Nick Foles some point in that game. So I'm going with the Rams defense at number 4. Coming at number 3, I got the Chiefs. The Chiefs are my defense at number 3. The Chiefs, man, let me tell you about the Chiefs. The Chiefs put so much pressure on you because they score at a high rate. They make you have to try to keep up with them. And when you do that, that's when you turn over the football. Drew Lock is my guy. People know I traded for him in the MBS league. Haven't really started him this year, but I just think that this game he may try to do a little bit too much to try to keep up with the Chiefs. So I'm going with the Chiefs defense, possibly getting, a pick 6 in that game. Coming at number 2, I do have the Chicago Bears. I don't think it's going to be the Rams offense that's going to go crazy. I just think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't think Jared Goff is going to turn over the ball and give up a pick 6. But I do think, no, I do think he can. I do think that the Bears could have a great game plan defensively, but still lose that game, which I do think they're going to lose. But ultimately, I just think the Bears defense is a must start because of Khalil Mack and company. So I'm going with them at number 2. But number 1 defense on the day, yes, you may say, well, why the Bills are not your number 1 defense? The Patriots, those are our elite guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers. We don't put those guys in this argument. But this team used to be elite. And I'm talking about the San Francisco 49ers. We used to have them as an elite defense. We know what happened to Bosa, Solomon Thomas, and company. So we don't have them as an elite defense anymore. But we do have them as a really good defense, and they're going to be the best defense today. I think they hold Cam Newton down. I think they hold the Patriots down. So I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers as my number 1 defense on today. Coming in at number 5 in the flex spots. This is gonna get interesting. I'm going off with somebody interested right off the top spot. Mr. McKissick out of Washington. Yes, I'm picking a Redskin. This kid catches a lot of balls out the backfield, man. A lot of balls out the backfield, and he hasn't been bad, man. Double-digit points last week. He's a guy that's kind of growing on me, man. So I'm going with him at number 5. At number 4 is the guy I really wanted to just get on right now, and that's Le'Veon Bell. I got to start him. I know what Clyde Edwards-Helaire did last week. I understand that. But Le'Veon Bell, man, he just fits this system so well. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got all those weapons, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. You still got Edwards-Helaire. I just think that Bell, they're going to try to get Bell a touchdown today on his first game with the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm going with Le'Veon Bell at number 4. At number 3, this guy hasn't been playing really good football. I had to trade him in the MBS league. I'm going Devin Singletary. I think he could have a good game today because it is the Jets. Even look out for Zach Moss in this blowout game. I think that Zach Moss could have a big game. But I'm going Devin Singletary versus the Jets. I'm starting everybody versus the Jets. Everybody's starting, but John Brown, because John Brown is out. So for all my fantasy owners, if you got John Brown, make sure you get him out your lineup. He's not playing today. But Devin Singletary comes at number 3 in my flex spot. Coming at number 2, I got Giovanni Bernard. Wow. Talking about rewinding the hands of time. No Joe Mixon today. He's out. So you're going to go ahead and start Gio. Gio can catch out the backfield. He can run a little bit out the backfield. I think that you could see a lot of dump downs from Joe Burrow. Gio's going to get double-digit fantasy points today. I'm predicting he will get at least 10 to 12 fantasy points on the day, and that's solid in your flex spot, so I'm going with Giovanni Bernard. And on that same team, I'm going with this guy, man. Come on, man. I got to go with not A.J. Green, not Tyler Boyd. I'm going with Mr. Higgins. Come on, man. Out of Clemson. If y'all, man, come on, man. At the end of the day, Higgins has been the number 1 receiver in my mind. And if you can start a number 1 receiver in your flex spot, that makes it worth it. So I'm going with Higgins at number 1 in the flex spot. That's what I'm going with that. Let's move over to waiver wire pickups. Now, I got a tongue load for y'all, man. I had to write it down because I had so many people that you need to pick up. So let's talk about some pickups for today alone. Well, let me start. Let me not do that. Let me go back. Let me go to somebody I think that needs to be owned in 100% of leagues. Let me start there. Number 1 guy. Only one guy. And that's Mr. Koo from Atlanta. I just think that this dude needs to be starting in everybody's lineup in every league. He is owned in 90, a little above 90%. So it's only 10% of leagues he's not owned in. But this guy is big time as a kicker. I think he's borderline elite, so he should be owned in 99% of leagues. So I'm going with him as a guy that needs to be owned in every league. Coming in as who's somebody that you should pick up today and play is Tre'Quan Smith. He's only owned in 20.6% of ESPN leagues. I just told you guys There's no Michael Thomas or Emmanuel Sanders. I think Tre'Quan Smith's a guy that you can pick up right now, plug in. Not saying that you have the greatest game from him, but he could have a good game from him because he will be the Saints' number one wide receiver on today. And we know how potent that offense it could be. And then now let's get to our top 5 waiver wire pickups for this week. Coming in number 5, I got Mike Williams of the Los Angeles Chargers. He's only owned in 52.6% of ESPN leagues. I think this is a guy that's about to end the season on a high note. He's going to get to around 90% of owned in all leagues. So right now at 52.6%, that's way too low. I think that we need to go ahead and get him on way more rosters. Coming in number 4, I got Rob Gronkowski. He's only owned in 83.8%. Now, you may say that's a high number, but Gronk, man, he needs to be on your team. Even if you're playing a standard 10-team league, like Gronk is one of the best 10 to me in the league right now. And he has trade value, so you definitely want to have him on your roster. So I'm going with Gronk at number 4. Coming at number 3, I'm going with Mr. McKissick. He's only owned in 43.4% of the leagues. I know Antonio Gibson is slowly but surely getting a handle on that job in Washington, but I think Mr. McKissick is going to stay catching balls out the backfield. He'll get some time, so I'm going to go with him. I think in 43.4%, that's a great pickup that you can pick him up and probably play him in your flex. Coming at number 2 is Mr. Higgins at 65%. He's only owning 65%. And when you have Joe Burrow passing team, Higgins is the number 1 in my mind. In my mind, it's Higgins' job now as number 1 receiver. 65% is a bit low for me as number 1 wide receiver and somebody that is getting targeted. So I'm going with him. At number 1, though. At number 1. And it's not even so much, it's 2 people, but it's not even so much a number 1 waiver wire pickup. 1 is for sure you want to pick up 1. I just think it's interesting. 2 guys that haven't even played yet. And I'm talking about former studs, man. Dez Bryant and Antonio Brown. Dez is only owned in 8.5% of ESPN leagues. Now, I know he hasn't played in forever. I get it. But, dude, he's playing for the Baltimore Ravens. You have to stop Lamar Jackson first. I think that Dez Bryant is going to do some good things out there in Baltimore. It may not be wide receiver 1 or 2 type play, but at the flex position, Dez can do some things, man. So I'm going with Dez Bryant at number 1, co-tied with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's already owned in 74.3% of leagues. Come on, people. This guy got to be owned in every league. Are you kidding me? Antonio Brown in that offense? With Tom Brady? Come on, man. Antonio Brown needs to be owned in more leagues. He's the number 1 waiver wire pickup guy. I just threw Dez Bryant in there just because I think it's interesting. So, yeah, you got to pick up Antonio Brown, only 74.3%. And then 2 guys, I'm going to give y'all some tips for this week, upcoming week. Excuse me. I'm going to give y'all some tips for this upcoming week, some guys that you want to pick up. Don't worry about it right now because at the end of the day, you can't pick up one of them. But I'm going Sterling Shepard. I like what I saw from Sterling Shepard this past Thursday night. He's already locked in. You can't pick him up right now, but 36.2% owned in ESPN leagues. You need to go ahead and pick him up, man. Sterling Shepard could be really good for you down the line in fantasy football. So I would definitely pick him up. And then Tua Tagovailoa, 20.6% of leagues he's owned in. So that's almost 80% he's not owned in. Y'all go get Tua, man. Even if, he just sits there. He has a good game out the gate. You could trade him. And I always love trade because people love to be, they love to get into that soap opera story. They love to buy into that so quick. I'm not one that really buys into it. Tua would really be trade bait for me, but I would definitely pick him up. Now, with that being said, speaking of pickups, who is somebody that you should trade for? And who is, this segment, you is somebody, who is some people you should stay the hell away from. Let's start with the pickup guys or trade for right now. Golly, I don't know why I can't get that out my chest. Coming at number, there ain't no number. The guys that you need to trade for. First guy, Rob Gronkowski. Gronk. I believe Gronk, man, is going to be a good tight end moving forward. Make sure you can go trade for him. That's a guy that if you're not happy with your tight end position, it's very inconsistent. Go get Gronk. People are letting Gronk go right now for the low. They're not believers in Gronk. A lot of people don't even start Rob Gronkowski. I would start him. If I don't have the Travis Kelce's, the Mark Andrews, the George Kittles, the Darren Wallers, I'm going to get Gronk, man. I think I'm okay with that, putting him at my tight end position and playing him. So I'm going with Gronk as a guy you should trade for. Another guy you should trade for, I just mentioned him, Sterling Shepard. Trade for him. He would be an excellent flex play moving forward. So I'm going with Sterling Shepard as a guy that you definitely want to pick up and trade for. The next guy is Le'Veon Bell. Would it be far-fetched for Le'Veon Bell to become the starting running back in Kansas City? Not at all. I think he's definitely worth the trade for, because I don't think that the person that you're going to trade with is going to ask for a crazy amount to get him. So I would actually go get Le'Veon Bell. You could probably get Le'Veon Bell for DeAndre Swift. And people may say, X, I would never do that. DeAndre Swift is starting to become that guy in Detroit. Well, I would. I like Swift, but I think that Bell in that offense could be special, even though they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So I'm going with Le'Veon Bell in that spot. Another guy I would trade for is Dez Bryant. I would trade for and pick him up is Dez Bryant. I think Dez, all it takes is with these hype guys is to have one good game, and then you could trade them. So I would definitely go pick up Dez Bryant. I would trade for him something really extremely light, something I really don't need much to give up to get him. So I would definitely go get Dez Bryant. I would also go get Antonio Brown, but that's going to be a much harder, much tougher task. People are not going to just give you Antonio Brown. You're going to have to come off something. But I do think that you should. Now, I don't think you should give up the ransom for him. I don't think he's going to be Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh. But I do think Antonio Brown is going to be a good, solid wide receiver number 2. If you think that he's going to be better than a wide receiver number 2, then I would put him on my other list. Stay the hell away from him, because he's not worth that. If you're going to spend ransom to get him, I would stay away from him. He's not worth all that. But my number one go pick up, trade for a piece is the New England Patriots defense. I know some people are like, what you mean? What you mean, True? They get to play the New York Jets twice for the remainder of the year. Are you kidding me? That's 2 weeks you get to basically guarantee you 10 fantasy points to start the week, and you're probably not going to lose that. You're probably only going to go up from there. The New England Patriots defense is a defense that I would actually try to trade up for, go pick up, try to trade for, I should say. Definitely want the New England Patriots defense. So definitely want that. All right, who am I staying the hell away from? Y'all already know the first one. All the Jets players out of Jamison Crowder, besides Jamison Crowder. Jamison Crowder, of course, he gets his. He gets his. Some way, somehow, that kid plays hard regardless. I'm definitely going with Jamison Crowder. I would definitely still pick him up. But the rest of them, the defense, no, I would never play the Jets defense. The running back position, Frank Gore, I love you, but I wouldn't pick you up. Wouldn't want you on my team. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm staying away from all the Jets players. Coming in number 2, AJ Green. It's sad, but AJ Green, man, is not that guy anymore in Cincinnati. Now, if he gets traded, then we can talk about something different. But right now, AJ Green is not that guy. So I would say stay the hell away from him. Coming at number 3, I'm going Baker Mayfield. I'm officially off that bandwagon right now. He's going to have to show me something. He's going to have to tip that scale another way for me to get excited about him again. But I'm going Baker Mayfield. I'm staying the hell away from Baker Mayfield. I don't even want to start him anymore. It's just all bad. He has two really good wide receivers and a good running game. There's no reason for this to be the case. But yeah, I'm staying away. He makes poor decisions, and I can't condone that. Coming in number 4, I got Andy Dalton. I don't have to say anything right now. You're gonna have to show me more, Andy. You're gonna have to show me more, Andy, before I would want to pick you up. But I'm staying the hell away from you. All that talent on the offensive side of the ball, and you just didn't look good this past week. You had a week of preparation. Mike McCarthy said that was the best week of preparation that they've had. No, it wasn't. It obviously didn't work. So Andy Dalton, for me, I'm staying the hell away from. But the number one clear-cut person or people I'm staying away from, the Cowboys defense. Oh, my God. The Cowboys defense is horrible. And that division, what makes it so bad is the division is so bad, and they're still horrible. They still give up a lot of points, and they play in the worst division in football. So I'm staying away from the Cowboys defense. No chance I would ever want them. You can't even include them in a deal because that's a roster spot that's being taken up. So I got to stay the hell away from the Dallas Cowboys defense. Once again, you're now rocking with Nothing But Sports. You're now rocking with your boy Triggs, the Sports Junkie. This is the Stardom Sit-'em Fantasy Football Show on MBS Central Radio. Y'all click that subscribe button, man. Click that subscribe button for your boy. Hit that notification bell. Always the latest and greatest sports updates. This is the Stardom Sit-'em Show on Sundays at 10:30 Central Time. Tomorrow, we have our first ever episode of Bragging Rights, our college football show, hosted by GBD, Golden Blue Dude. Man, listen, let me tell y'all, man. Y'all go subscribe to his channel too, Golden Blue Dude. This dude is hilarious, but also very, very knowledgeable of college football. I endorse this guy myself, so y'all go make sure y'all check him out tomorrow for Bragging Rights on the MBS Central Network. Then on Tuesdays, you already know our longest going show, Nothing But Sports Show, hosted by Just Justin and my man Jay Franchise, where they hit you with all the latest and most up-to-date sports knowledge. Definitely a great show. And on Wednesday nights, another time you'll see your boy Triggs, the Sports Junkie, for the only show on the brand where we don't just talk sports. Me and my dog Keo, let's talk about it. We're going to talk politics. We're going to talk about the presidential debate that happened this past week. We're going to talk about battle rap, Tay-Rock versus Murder Mook. We're going to talk about sports as well and the incredible finish in Game 4 of the MLB. But you got to tune into that. And then, of course, on Friday nights, we got my main man, Mike Larson and Larson Live. And then on Saturdays, we have the Undeniable Truth with my man, John Elkhorn. Man, we are doing our thing, so please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell. With that being said, we're going to go to questions right now. So let's go to the questions right now. They want to know. I shouldn't say they. My girl Jennifer wants to know, who should she start at the running back position? She wants to know Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Gibson. That's a good one. Dang, I'm going Antonio Gibson, man. I know, and I just gave y'all all kind of reasons to start Le'Veon Bell, but I'm going Gibson because he's going against the Cowboys. Come on, man. I got to start Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson could score today. Le'Veon Bell, we don't know if it's going to happen. I think it might happen, but I just think the matchups is just Le'Veon Bell's going up against the Denver Broncos defense. The Broncos defense has played some good football. Antonio Gibson, he gives the Dallas Cowboys. So for sure, I got to go Antonio Gibson. Good question, though. Really, really good question. Let's go to my main man. Now let's go to my main man, Mike. Okay, Mike. He wants to know, people, who does he start? Start two, I should say. Start two. Allen Robinson, Jarvis Landry, CeeDee Lamb, or DJ Moore. The two that I'm going to start DJ Moore for sure. He was in my top 5, so you got to start him. Ooh. And I'm going to start CeeDee Lamb. I felt like Andy Dalton really liked going to CeeDee Lamb, so I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb and DJ Moore in this situation. Okay, I'll take 2 more questions, and then we're going to get to, our final topic, which I know everybody loves, the stud, dud, and sleeper of the week. I don't know if my man Keo gave it to me. Here, let's see if I can pull it up. Let's see. No, I never got Keo, so he might have told me. I'm tripping. All right. Erica wants to know, should she start Giovanni Bernard? Oh, wow. That or Devin Singletary? Ooh, Singletary versus, and that's a flex play. Well, according to my flex rules, I would go Giovanni Bernard. He's the starter. I do love Singletary today because he's going up against the Jets, but according to my chart, that's crazy. I have it right in front of me. I would go Giovanni Bernard. I know he's the starter. I know it's against the Browns, so I'm going Giovanni Bernard over Devin Singletary. Plus, Devin Singletary hasn't been producing much in fantasy these past couple of weeks, so I'm going to go that route. And then last one, let me get a good one. Let's go with, let me see if I can find a different one. Let's go with Mr. Willis. Okay, yeah, let's go with Mr. Willis. What quarterback to start? Cam Newton today or, oh, man, come on, man. Cam Newton or Drew Lock? Oh, man, Drew Lock is in a shootout, but I'm going Cam Newton, even though the Niners defense is going to be tough on him today. I'm still going Cam Newton. I didn't like the way Cam Newton played last week, but we know Cam could possibly score a rushing touchdown, so I'm going to go Cam Newton on that one. Now, with that being said, let's get to the stud, dud, and sleeper of the week, people. All right. So, I actually have more time than I thought. I was looking at the time right here. I don't know why my time's off right here, but it's all love nonetheless. So let's get to it. My main man Keo's stud of the week is Tom Brady. Keo loves Tom Brady. He thinks Tom Brady's about to have a big, big game this week versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I actually think Ronald Jones could have the big game, but we'll definitely see. And then Keo's dud of the week. Keo, you're such a hater, bro. That dude there's a hater, y'all. His dud of the week is Ryan Tannehill. Why is his dud of the week Ryan Tannehill? Am I saying that's far-fetched? Ryan Tannehill could struggle today going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. That is absolutely a good prediction, but Keo's doing it because he knows that Ryan Tannehill plays on somebody's team in the MBS league. Can anybody guess whose team that is? You know it's my team. Come on, Keo. You're doing it just to be ugly. But it's all good. You trying to jinx my dog. My dog's going to have a big game just because you a hater, man. So, yeah, he got Ryan Tannehill as his dud of the week. My sleeper, he didn't give me the sleeper of the week. So my sleeper of the week today, I'm going with Teddy Bridgewater. Going up against his former team in the New Orleans Saints. I think Teddy B, man, could have a monster game today. The Saints is very banged up offensively, and I think that the Panthers are coming for blood. So would it surprise me if the Panthers actually win this game? Not at all. Not with all the injuries the Saints have. Definitely I can see the Panthers win this game, especially with the way Mike Davis has been playing. But I'm going with Teddy Bridgewater as my sleeper of the week. All right, let's get to my dud of the week. I did mention his name earlier in the show, but I didn't mention him as far as one of my top fives, obviously. But I'm going Allen Robinson. I think he's the dud of the week. I don't think he's going to get to 12 fantasy points. I think it's going to be actually single digits. Going up against Jalen Ramsey, that Rams defense, I think that Nick Foles is going to struggle. I think it's going to be a very, very low-scoring game between those two teams. And I just don't think Allen Robinson is going to have the game that everybody thinks that he may have or he's been having these past few weeks and going back to last year. So he is my dud of the week. But here is Truex the Sports Junkies stud of the week. Now, this is how it goes on stud of the week. You can't pick the guy. Once you pick him, you can't pick him again for the remainder of the year. And this guy, I think, is the perfect time to pick him, coming off of a 2-game losing streak, going up against the horrendous New York Jets. I'm going with quarterback Josh Allen. I think he's about to have a monster game today. Keo typically does better than me on stud of the week. I do better on dud of the week. But I do think today I'm going to beat him on stud of the week. I think Josh Allen will be better than Tom Brady. I'm going Josh Allen as the stud of the week from your boy Trex, the Sports Junkie of the Nothing But Sports Group. I'm thinking let's throw a stat line out. He's going over 300 yards passing. He might go over 100 yards rushing. I'm saying he's going to get 30 fantasy points today. Clearly, 30. He's dropping that 30. He's dropping that 30 today, so I'm going with my guy, Josh Allen. I wish I had him on my fantasy team this week. That would be great. Maybe I should have tried to trade Ryan Tannehill just for this week for Josh Allen. Yeah, I know, Drew. Drew, you're never going to trade me. They had a poll question this week, guys. Who's the hardest person to trade with in the MBS league? And I said clearly, not even no debate, is Drew. Drew is a Tennessee Titan fan, and he would never, especially me, he'll never trade with me. But I do want to say shout out to everybody that did trade with me these past couple of weeks. My team is looking real strong. They just got to get the dub today and move on, man. Move on. We got to keep going. We got to get into these playoffs right now. I'm one of the lower teams in the league because of my horrendous start, 1-5. But now I got a dub. No, 1-4. I got a dub last week. It's pushing me to 2-4. If I get a dub this week versus Just Justin, I'll move to 3-4 and possibly on the cusp of a playoff spot. I don't think nobody's undefeated in our league. So it's not like from one to, because we're in a 16-team league, there's nobody that's undefeated. So, I mean, even though I have a below 500 record, I'm really right there on the cusp of being the 8th spot of the Nothing But Sports League. As I can see back there, that's the Nothing But Sports Championship belt. No, I am not the current champ. The current champ is my main man, Chris Boland. He does have our old belt. We are retiring that belt this season, and we got the new MBS Championship belt, and that thing is a thing of beauty, y'all. But enough about the Nothing But Sports League. Good luck to everybody in the Nothing But Sports League, except for Just Justin. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. No, we're not going to do that to Just Justin. Good luck to him. Definitely got to get that dub today. But like I always tell you guys, I'm going to wrap the show up a little early. That's kind of funny, but I'm going to wrap it up a little early today. But if you have any questions, go to my Instagram at The Sports Junkie. I'll answer the questions there. Go to my YouTube, my Twitter at I am Truex. I'll answer your questions there. Facebook, Xavier Sports Junkie Tron. If you ask the question on the MBS Central page, I'll answer them there as well. So that gives you a few avenues to go visit for me to answer the questions on those platforms. Any question that you may have, I'm going to go ahead and help you. But like I always tell you guys, if you lose, you have nobody but to blame but yourself. But if you win, like Drake says, man, thank me later. Love y'all. This has been Stardom Sit-em. I am Trex, the Sports Junkie, and we out. Peace. I'm going to wrap this up, y'all. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Let's see. Let's go back. And let's see. Let me go to Zoom. And let's end.